From Character Options and their Doctor Who line, this is the History of the Daleks subline. So the History of the Daleks subline was literally, we're going to give you 2 Daleks from basically every single major appearance of these guys. This was box number 3, featuring their 3rd major appearance, which was the episode, or rather the storyline, The Chase. I don't have all of these packs, but I do have a good handful of them, and I thought, hey, it'd be fun to go through. So these are going to be the oldest in terms of the figures I have right now, the oldest designs of the Daleks I have. So let's see how things might change, but first let's just take a look at this box. Character Options have been putting out less and less toys over the years, but I really do like this new design they've settled on. It's all basically just stylized after the TARDIS. Then on the back you have some information, not just about the Chase episode, but also about the props. So basically what that's going to tell you is the fact that yes, not only were they using the original Daleks, which is what this silver guy was, but all these blue Daleks were from the Doctor Who movie that was out around the same time. If you didn't know, there was a Peter Cushing Doctor Who movie. It was pretty interesting. I don't know if I would say it was good necessarily, but I enjoy it. And these are some of the only ways to get some of those movie Dalek figures. So let's pop the box open, have a look at these guys. The thing I gotta say right now is I love these little bastards. I love the Daleks. They are literally some of my favorite things ever, be it characters, sci-fi things, props, anything. Ask my roommate Digital Camcorder or my good friend Rubik's Cube. They'll tell you I have a bit of an unhealthy obsession with these little guys, which is probably why I went on a bit of a buying spree, and why I'm so excited to finally get to review them now. So, I will point this out. 1, these guys look incredible. They do. They look so good. And they share some articulation points, so I'll pull in our silver Dalek. So, you have a rotation at the head. You have up and down at the eye stalk. And then you have on both the manipulator and the gun, let's be honest, the plunger and the gun. It looks like that these are ball joints, but they're not. They are on something of a trail on a track, which is why I would urge you to be careful, just because I know it would be very easy to break these guys. And then down below, you actually have moving wheels, and up here in the front, this one turns so that you can kind of steer them. Look at that. It's literally more articulated than the actual Dalek prop from all the way back then. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So, when you look at them, I will point out that they put in a lot of differences between these 2 Daleks, because keep in mind, right, this silver guy, this is what the original Dalek props more or less looked like. They had improvements made over the second appearance, but this was the original look for the Doctor Who Daleks, save for eventually I think they made this lower part wider for this episode. Over here though, this was made by a movie studio using a much higher budget. So you can see the midsection is a lot more sleek, and the Dalek itself is actually a little bit shorter. That's actually inaccurate. The movie Daleks were these props are a lot taller than the TV show Daleks. They actually had to cut this bottom section into pieces just to actually make them similar height. And if they didn't have this little black board down here, that would be accurate, but because they have that, and they're able to roll, and they're still shorter, this is technically an inaccurate movie Dalek. But hey, all this stuff I just said, nobody cares, because it looks great. I'm sure there's people out there who would take umbrage with that, because especially in England, the preservation and remembrance of these Dalek props is so important to the fans there. For me personally, I can accept that action figure is never going to look 100% like the real thing, and I think that the blue Dalek does still look just superb. Another big difference between them is the eye stalks, and this is actually accurate. The original TV show Dalek had a much thinner eye, whereas the movie Daleks had much bigger eyes, and they didn't change that for the episode. So, with all that said, this is a great 2-pack in that most of the 2-packs we'll be looking at, the Daleks are identical to each other. They are army builder 2-packs through and through. Not to say these 2 are actual characters, but the fact that they're actually 2 different Daleks actually kind of appeals to me, because it feels like you're getting a more complete set if you're wanting to go for a History of the Daleks, or Asylum of the Daleks, or even, the Witch's Apprentice Throne Room, where like they just had every design of the Daleks ever. I enjoy this, but I can understand how it gets on some people's nerves. Another thing I gotta give these figures, I think they scale incredibly well with their intended Doctor. So I'm gonna pull in my first Doctor. This is from the 11... Yeah, it was the 11 Doctors gift set. This came out almost 10 years ago now, wow. So my first Doctor, I think the actor's name was William Hartnell. Don't quote me on that. And this is accurate. He did stand just a little bit taller than the Daleks usually. So I think even there, this works very well, and it meshes with this more Victorian style early Doctor. If you've never seen the first Doctor stuff, don't be aware. The original episodes can be a bit of a slog sometimes, but man, he was so cool as a Doctor. I like the first Doctor a lot. I'm going to sing a lot of praises of these History of the Daleks 2-packs, but a thing I do need to make clear right now is they actually do go for a good bit of money sometimes. Thankfully, this is one of the cheaper 2-packs you can find, and still is. So, if you're starting a Doctor Who collection, or you just want to have a couple of good Daleks rolling around, this is a pretty good deal. It's not the cheapest 2-pack, it's not the cheapest way to get Daleks, but it is a good way to get two pretty unique looking guys, and it fills the niche if you're okay with the more classic looking Dalek. As we go on, I will compare them to some of the more modern Daleks, because my idea is that we're not just going to be unboxing Daleks, we'll also take a review look at the Daleks I already have that I've just never touched before. And I think overall, it's cool to see just how a simple design like this has evolved over the years in very subtle ways. But there is one more thing I do want to point out before we completely end this review. If you remove the plastic tray and the cardboard slip from the box, you actually get this backdrop display showing the forest of the chase. It's a good little prop, actually. And then you can put the Daleks in there, and don't get me wrong, it's not the best looking backdrop in the world. I wouldn't necessarily display them like this, but like, for figure photography, you could probably get some cool shots out of this. Here, let me actually, I'd like to zoom in like that. Yeah, that's actually looking kind of good. Here, can I get a good thumbnail of this? Ooh, yeah, look at this. Yeah. A little bit of good lighting. Yeah, baby, that might be our thumbnail. Yeah, so it's a cool little addition. Like I said, if you found a way to maybe incorporate them into a wall display, it would be kind of cool. I don't think I'm going to be keeping this guy around, but it's really nice that Character Options even went to the effort of giving you that little extra something, because it is actually a decent looking backdrop in the right angle. So, with all that said, I love this 2-pack. I think these are great Dalek figures. I love how different they are from each other while still looking like they could have come from the same era, because they did. And I'm excited to look at even more Doctor Who stuff on the channel. You know, assuming this video doesn't completely kill it right here.